Have you seen like Quay? He's going to take on a bigger role this year. So have you seen him fit into that?
Yeah, it's the biggest thing with a player that's stepping into a bigger role is that you got to just be mindful of just taking really conscious steps. You're not going to just all of a sudden become Zion Childers. Like that's a guy that's played a lot of football, right? So like you take baby steps, you focus on technique. You sort of start on the one tree and then you start spreading them out. Okay, now you start looking at splits. Now you start looking at, hey, what's their stance? What's the formation tendency? Right now it's just about technique. It's about knowing the call. And then it's just about playing fast. Don't overthink things. We'll get the corrections made. But he's shown progress from practice one to where we are, that's for sure.
We've talked about those edge rushers in general, but with Cam Olds in particular, what did you like about him on film and how has that translated so far this spring?
Yeah, you know what? So much when you're evaluating guys in portal is how are they going to relate, to the competition that you're going to play. And sometimes you've got to take a leap of faith. In his case, it was nice. Last year, he played Penn State and had some good games. He played against Tennessee, and had some good plays. He had some plays that, we got to obviously correct as well. But that's part of coaching. But he showed that he can do it against top-level competition, and that's the
You got your old coach back on the staff. What was that process like, and just how excited are you to have him back?
You know what? I excited to have both new additions. In that regard, excited to have obviously Coach Lambert, but then have Coach Fuqua. I mean, you've got two guys with great knowledge, both been DCs for 7+ years in their careers. Obviously, Coach Lambert's been a head coach as well, and so those guys, they just bring a wealth of knowledge into the room, and one of the best things that we've got defensively, I think, is we've had continuity over the years. But at the same time, sometimes, especially in this portal realm, right, like you've got a bunch of guys in a room that are really comfortable with the defense and things seem really easy, and you assume that it should be easy for the players. Well, that is the case for guys that have been in your system for 2, 3, 4 years. You bring in, a couple of new guys on staff, and they're hearing it for the first time like a portal transfer would hear it, or a mid-year freshman, and they're like, whoa, slow to confuse. And then you realize, all right, you know what, maybe sometimes in my coaching, I was making some assumptions that I could make with some of the older players, but I can't make with these new guys. I got to go back to ground zero. I can't start at level 200. I got to start at level it's math 101. I can't jump right to 202. So having those thoughts are easy, and then experiences they bring from schools and offenses that they played against. Hey, we did this. All those little things, they make us better as coaches. They make us better as a team. Just excited for both of those additions.
The release we got said Lambert's working specifically with the nickel backs. Is that a role you had previously on the staff with somebody else, or did you all want to focus more on that position?
No, we had that last year with Brian Breswitz.
DJ Waller, we saw some of the physical tools, but he dealt with a lot of injuries that first year. So how can he use this spring to get where he needs to be?
Yeah, that's another one that we've got really high expectations for, and he's shown improvement through spring. None of the guys are where we want them to be or expect them to be come September. And I don't think they would want that to be the case. But, he plays with great length and physicality. You can tell that he loves football. There's a passion, in what he does. And now just about cleaning up some of the little details, and, it's eye discipline, it's footwork, it's being consistent day in and day out. And so we've seen growth in those areas, but we need to continue to see that here over the next 6 months and then throughout the season.
I think I saw Steven Souls waiting. I guess he'll probably go after you. one of the freshmen on defense that we kind of heard their name called a couple times last year, along with Ryan Nichols, some other guys. What are you maybe expecting from this group of freshmen now that they've turned sophomores out there on the field?
Yeah, it's an important year. You talk about Steven Souls, you talk about Ryan Nichols, you talk about a guy like Cam Dooley, you talk about those guys that now it's time to take the next to Antoine Smith, and I'm sure there's a whole group of them, so we're really excited about that. Gerard Smith, Jacobs, like all those guys, that they were what we expected when we signed that class. Hey, listen, it is a hard league to come in and do, much more than, special teams, maybe carve out a little bit of a role here or there. But now it's time to say, okay, I understand what the speed of the game is. I understand what the strength's required. So they've put that time in the weight room. These spring ball reps, they mean something. For some of them, they might have come in mid-year. Some of them came in June. So they're just trying to grasp the defense in fall camp. Now it's okay. The defense is slowing down. Now I can be the best version of myself. And so it's been good to see all those guys out there competing at a high level. They're a really tight knit group. Like they're all really close. Especially defensively, which is awesome. Like they do a lot of stuff together. They hang out together, and so to have that core, knowing that you're going to be able to grow defensively, is it's really good for us.
Brad, you've got those two veteran safeties with a lot of snaps behind them. What about Martellus and I think you mentioned Dooley?
Yep.
Behind them, are they kind of closing the gap a little bit to be able to make you feel good about your depth?
Yeah, especially like a guy like Cam Dooley who's been in the system, right? Like now it's you're coming you've been here through summer, you've been here through fall, now you're going through spring. Like things have slowed down. The mid-year freshmen, Martellus, or you're talking about, Dylan Williams. Both guys have shown and flashed the ability that we saw in high school, but things move really fast. Like today was a red zone day. And it was like poltergeist out there. Their just head was spinning. Receivers are running around. They're like, wow, this thing happens fast inside the 20. And so those are the things that when you're a true freshman, like, poof, they'll jump on you. But guys that, like we talked about, those redshirt freshmen, hey, the game has started to slow down now. And then they've got a great veteran group, like you said. And so they can talk to Lovett. They can talk to Ty B. Things that they experienced, and so it's been a good group. It's a good mix all the way from a guy that's been in the system for going on 5 years to two mid-year freshmen.
Right, it looked like on Wednesday when we were out there, you had some formations where you got Alex and Avery and Grant all together out there on the field. Where's Grant at in his progress? I know with the injury the rest of the year, he played some no scriptures. Where is he at? Where you all expected him?
Yeah, he's coming along. The big thing for those guys, he's another one that, when you sort of miss a whole year, he's almost in that redshirt freshman, even though he's technically a class ahead. So the big thing for all of those guys is just reps and live reps. It's one thing to get controlled thud setting. Hey, you thud him up, you think he would make the tackle, but a linebacker better pin ball carriers to the ground. And so the number one barometer for inside linebacker is when we get into a live scrimmage, can we tackle a guy to the ground, limit extra yards, no leaky yards, knock back tackles, can we snap on contact, hey, you got a back one-on-one in space, can you get him to the ground? And only those things can happen in live settings. It's like a pass rusher. You don't really know what kind of pass rusher you have until we talked about it the very first week. You have the finishing touch, and until you can bring the quarterback down, you really don't know if the guy's got that or not.
Coach, talking about not being able to see the full product from anyone, but any of the newcomers, maybe some freshmen on offense that maybe have been a thorn in your side so far in spring?
You know what? I don't think anybody, sort of stands out on either side from a freshman standpoint. Listen, been pleased about what I think any mid-year freshman that we've had. We've seen the talent flash that we saw on film, but all those guys are a long ways away from being difference makers.
Last one here.
Squeeze one quick one in, Brad.
I
He
know.
stepped over you, Tony.
No.
Crafty veteran.
That's a
Crafty veteran.
You know what? That's a first in whatever going on 8 years now.
Mark talked to us after the open practice and said he was pleased with the offensive line and the steps they've taken in the pass protection. Just curious from your perspective and the guy trying to get heat on them.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you've seen it. They've done a nice job in blitz pickup. They've done a nice job. We had a one-on-one pass rush competition at the end of the day, and the O-line won it. So no, they're giving us everything we can handle. That's for sure.
Okay, great. Hey, we've got a bunch of player requests.